older.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jonas, for your time. Can you give us a little bit of a recap of how you were able to go back and look at the footage from last week and really build on that for this next challenge, which is Orlando, which is the measuring stick here in NWSL?
Yeah, like I said after the game there, I really think it was a game of two halves against Utah. I think they were part of our first half there that we should be really pleased about, and there was, of course, easier to find examples of how we need to look like as a team in order to be successful. And then I think second half is to understand why we are not looking as good as a team in that half. What is the details of difference, and what we need to improve on as a team in order to look the same in the second half as we do in the first half. So there were some good learning opportunities for us there. Then, with all due respect to that game, I think what we have in front of us here now is our toughest challenge yet. To your point, I think it's a real benchmark coming away against Orlando, the reigning champions, and see how we can implement our way of playing here, in trying to get something out of the game as well, which is a really tough task, but we're preparing and want to give our absolute best in order to tackle that the best way possible.
And obviously, with Orlando being such a champion and having such a high work rate and play style, does that excite you to game plan for having your team ready for this, or just take me through that process and how you're able to kind of manage and look into maybe defending a Barbara Banda, a legend like Marta? What is that process for you and your team?
No, like you're saying, I think it's Orlando is obviously a team that has some threats, and always in a game plan, we will need to have one approach is to see what to nullify those threats. Like any other team, Orlando also have weaknesses. So how can we exploit them? And more importantly, is to see what are the strengths of us as a team. What strengths do we have both on an individual and a collective level, and we need to play to them. And we need to make sure that we get those moments in the game where we can showcase our football and we can showcase our strengths, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to give us the best possibility to win the game.
And how do you manage those outside factors? This is the first match that you're going to have your team travel across the country here in the United States into an away match. Those intangibles, is there a way to kind of coach those up, or not necessarily have those built-in excuses as excuses, but have them as potential challenges for your squad?
I said that when I was coming to the league, that one thing that excites me is all the external factors that you have to manage, which is not really as influential in Europe. So, I mean, the game here now against Orlando puts a couple of those factors really in the spotlight. We have the jet lag factor. We have a really early kickoff here on the East Coast tomorrow, which would be 9 a.m. our time. So we've been on a protocol for that for the last 4 days, in order to shift our time zones gradually. So this will feel normal for us to play tomorrow at 12. So that's one approach that we're working hard with. Then we a little bit more heat and humidity playing the game tomorrow. So again, we have strategies for hydration to deal with heat in order how we are prepared with trainings and so on this week. So yeah, for me, I feel that it's stimulating to try and deal with these external factors, and hopefully by doing that, we're sort of making that gap between playing home and away as little as possible.
And you have a new player coming in Daniela Arias from Corinthians in Brazil. The Colombian defender is going to bring experience and a lot of talent. How do you plan on marrying that with already the plant and the scheme that you've already had here in preseason with Wave?
I mean, we obviously identified her as a player that fits very well into what we're trying to achieve. Now she goes away with the national team, and we're still waiting for her working visa to be confirmed. So she hasn't been able to do anything with the squad or spend any time with us so far. So it's gonna be for next block. So right now we just focused on the game ahead of us here.
And then one final question. Last match was the first Snapdragon for you as well. Could you just kind of take us through that day and what you really think about the home field advantage that San Diego Wave has at Snapdragon Stadium?
I mean, our supporters are great. The atmosphere was phenomenal. I think you could really feel that they raised the players up one level, which is really important for us. I hope the players did the same to give the fans something to really to be excited about. And I think it was a really good start for all of us at Snapdragon Stadium to trying to build that as a real fortress for us this season. And looking forward to be back there to create more memories. But right now we have this tough away game in front of us, so that takes all of our focus and attention.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thanks, Tony. Took all my questions, so we'll wrap it up there. Thanks for joining us. See you later.
Yep. No problem. Thank you.
Person on. So, Tony, feel free to kick it off.
You got it. Thank you. Mackenzie, thank you for your time. You've been around San Diego Wave for a while as a veteran of the team. What have you noticed about the change in the culture and identity throughout this time? And how would you describe it as it is now going into your third week here against Orlando?
Yeah, obviously there's a ton of change, personnel wise and style of play and just a bunch of things. So I think we're just really trying to still figure out our identity. I think that takes time and growth. And so it being week 3, I think we're just honing in on a lot of different things that we're trying to do as a team on the field and just really getting good at the things we're good at and working on the things that we see a few cracks in. So I think yeah, it's a work in progress always. So
And how do you see yourself fitting into this new style that Jonas Eidevall is providing, and where you can maybe adjust or even grow with your talents that you already have?
I think something that I bring is my versatility. So I think just being able to be, wherever he needs me, I'm stepping up and ready to perform that role. I think that's something that I've tried to, bring to each team I've been on. I think also too just being a finisher in and around goal. So really trying to hone in on that too.
And then going into Orlando, obviously the measuring stick here in NWSL in a lot of ways, is that an added energy to the and boost to the team as they head into Orlando's home?
Yeah, I think we know the challenge ahead. It's one of the biggest challenges probably we'll have this year. Orlando's a great side, and we obviously are aware of that and ready for the challenge. And we've been preparing all week for it, so I think we're ready.
And what are some shining moments or players, teammates that you've noticed? Obviously, we had Gio Corley join in. What are some teammates that you're excited to really come together when it comes to game time and run a play?
I honestly think everyone has played an important role so far. Gia obviously has been so exciting to watch. I think she's so great on the ball, and I think just all our players really have been doing great and stepping up in different ways. And so I'm just excited for that another opportunity for everyone.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll just add a couple. I guess specifically with Orlando, is there anything you guys have been focusing on? I know it's like you want to focus more on your own game, but like what specific dangers do they have that you're preparing for?
Obviously their attacking style is very good, and I think just us being aware of that, especially in transition, being prepared, being in good positions at all times, ready for their threats up top. I think that's something we've been focusing on, and really just focusing on us too and doing the things we do well, even though we're facing such a great opponent. I think it's still important to do what we do well.
And last one, how much of a challenge is it to hit the road and play in front of not home crowds? I think they brought such a great energy at Snapdragon last weekend. So how do you sort of channel your own internal energy when you're up against an opposing crowd?
Yeah, I think that's something as a team that we've chatted about just to be prepared. Obviously, away games are half of the season, so you really have to bring that energy that maybe you're lacking from your home crowd. But And I think that that's something that we're prepared to do, and really just rely on each other as teammates and pick each other up when we need it, and celebrate the little wins on the field, and yeah, just really bring that energy from within ourselves.
Beautiful. All right, cool. We'll have Jonas up next. Thanks, Mac.